the thunder that only a Harley can provide. Stop by Tilly Harley-Davidson of Statesville or go to TillyHD.com.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome. You are listening to the Scoreboard. 844 Studio 4 is the phone number. Yes, this is the Scoreboard. Yes, you're hearing me again for the second time today. As earlier today, I was, a host of the Home Ad Show. But now I'm here back talking about the world of sports. And oh boy, do we have a lot to get into today. First off, 844 Studio 4 is the phone number, 844-788-3464. Anything on your mind that you might want to talk about, well, if you just, chat with me, you could call me up. 844-788-3464. Well, there is a lot going on in the world of sports. A lot of basketball news. This is getting ugly. Charles Barkley, not happy, attacking the deal that the NBA made. No more TNT after next year. TNT Sports lost out on a 11-year, $76 billion rights deal to ESPN, NBC, and Amazon. And now we have a lawsuit. The Warner Brothers Discovery sues the NBA over losing rights to Amazon. Warner Bros. Discovery has filed a lawsuit against the NBA Friday, alleging that the league breached its contract by declining its offer for a new media rights deal instead signing with Amazon. The lawsuit was filed in the New York Supreme Court, and the summons obtained by ESPN stated that the NBA has 20 days to respond. Oh boy. Yesterday, 2 days ago, we talked about the new media rights deal for the NBA. Oh boy, it's a mess. Charles Barkley, not happy. I'm sure Shaquille O'Neal's not happy as well. He's one of the big players on that TNT show for the NBA. The NBA on TNT, as they like to call it. The Olympics are now well underway. Yes, well underway. Opening ceremonies, although rainy, well, they took place today. Did anybody see Snoop Dogg carrying the Eternal Flame? Ha! Man, that guy is just doing everything. Remember last Olympics with the horses and the equestrian, him and Kevin Hart talking about it and having a good time with that. Man, I hope Snoop Dogg gets his own TV channel one of these days. I really do. That would really make it fun. But nonetheless, that's some of the things that are going on today. Charlotte FC is going to be in action this coming Saturday. Tomorrow at 8 p.m., it is their first game of Leagues Cup. Match day 1 of 3. They're in Group O. That group includes Charlotte, Cruz Azul, and Philadelphia. Philadelphia tomorrow night at 8 o'clock for Charlotte FC. Now, Charlotte's going to be on the road for this game. So when we've talked about Charlotte FC having an interesting road schedule, or not schedule, but record over the past year, this year specifically, not years past, it's going to be interesting. I keep saying last year is the one that the Leagues Cup turned the season around. Charlotte FC made a push. They made the playoffs. This year, they're already in playoff position, so hopefully the opposite does not happen. Things are heating up in Major League Baseball. We've had some trades. Yes, we've had some trades. Not huge trades, but definitely some interesting ones nonetheless. Earlier today, it was announced that the Mariners had traded for Rays outfielder Randy Arozarena as they give up a couple of prospects and a player to be named later as well. The Red Sox acquired James Paxton from the Dodgers. They got Tyler Glasnow and Clayton Kershaw back. The Orioles and the Phillies also making some moves as well. So it is starting to heat up in the MLB trade deadline. Remember, the deadline is July 30th this year. Usually it's the 31st. This year, it's July 30th, which means we are only a few days away. That's Tuesday. Tuesday at 6 p.m., all trades stop in the MLB. And it used to be this weird thing where, yeah, the trades stop, but they didn't actually stop. It was, you could still trade, but it was some weird loophole that they had to where, no, they're not going to, I don't know. It was a weird, they had like two different trade deadlines. Not anymore. That changed a couple of years ago. Everybody stops trading on the same day now. That'd be July 30th. And I'd say Randy Arozarena was a pretty big piece to fall here. You know, he is one of those players who broke out a few years ago and then kind of fell off the earth a little bit, not in terms of production, but in terms of how we view him because, well, the Rays have not been good. Remember, they were on the up and up. They had that new system with the opener. They invented the opener. And then all of a sudden, the Rays aren't the team that we thought they were going to be. They have some other issues with players getting into legal trouble, which we're not going to go into right now, but the Rays move Randy Arozarena, and Arozarena goes to the Mariners. 844-STUDIO-4, that's 844-788-3464. We actually have a caller into the studio right now, so let's go ahead and take that. Good morning, caller. Good afternoon, I guess. Welcome to the Scoreboard.
Yeah, kind of a late morning there for you, huh?
A little bit. Yeah, you know, I'm still wishing that it was morning. I love the day. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Tar Heel man.
Absolutely.
Hey, just had to have a little shout out. I hadn't been able to call into you lately, but to my boy, Mr. Xander Schauffele, 2 major titles this year. He's in rare air there to win 2 in the same year. So, and it's only 2, but he's had a great year. So I had to give him a little shout out, and wanted to get your thoughts on Team USA basketball. Are they going to be able to get this done? They've had a lot of squeaker games there, just not quite the modern day dream team that we were hoping for.
I've heard so many comparisons from this year's dream team or this year's team to the dream team. And I'm just looking at it like, I don't know if you want to say that right now. They almost lost to South Sudan. They barely squeaked by Germany. Canada gave them a run for their money. I mean, they have me nervous, I'll tell you that much. I'm not confident, but I'm very nervous.
Yeah, maybe they're just playing possum and trying to generate a lot of interest, and then they're going to lay it to them. But, yeah, they had it with all that talent on there, LeBron and Curry and Durant once he gets healthy. And,
yep.
I mean, that team is pretty stacked, and then they got some good defenders, too. They should be able to get it done, but they got to start playing better ball than they've been playing.
They better not lose, in my opinion. This is we better not lose this year.
Yeah, look, that rookie year, LeBron was on there. 2004, they got beat. I think they wound up coming in bronze or something. But I want him to get it done, especially with being Steph Curry. It's the only time he's ever been on a team and probably be his last chance.
Well, hey, I'm actually coming up on a break. If you want to hang tight, but I'll be back right after this.
Keep it right here. We'll have more of the Scoreboard with Joe Berg in just a moment from 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
You still there? Ah.
You could even see some upper 60s around the farms and outlying spots. For the weekend, just a little bit less humid, mainly dry and high temperatures in the mid-80s. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. Find no reason to get outside this weekend. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
The WSIC app is available now wherever you get your apps, featuring local deals from great local businesses, like Top Notch Gutters of Statesville.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Langtree Live continues their free music series on Thursday. 2 months ago, Ghostface Brewing and Waves Entertainment hosted the Battle of the Bands. The champion that night, Fortune 5, makes their Langtree Live debut this Thursday, July 25th. Come on out to Langtree Lake Norman to see and hear the Battle of the Bands champion, Fortune 5, this Thursday with music beginning at 7 p.m. The Live Under the Oaks concert series continues on Friday at Birkdale Village in Huntersville. Come enjoy the music of The Highway with their dynamic and high-energy show. Red Rocks will have beverages on site, and the Birkdale restaurants are ready for your dinner service. Bring your chairs and blankets for The Highway concert at Birkdale Village on Friday, beginning at 6 p.m. The 8th annual Dog Island Jam takes place this Saturday on Lake Norman. Star from The Voice, John Sullivan presents the summer's must-see concert. Waves Entertainment will bring a stage, sound system, and LED walls to, you guessed it, an island on Lake Norman. Sully and Friends headline the concert on Saturday. Untie your boat or call your friends with boats and enjoy the Dog Island Jam concert on Lake Norman this Saturday. The Cookout Summer Shootout Series at Charlotte Motor Speedway reaches the series finale. The 10-race series title night is on Tuesday, July 30th, with NASCAR night sponsored by the NASCAR Hall of Fame. See the champions crowned and the legends and bandoleros. Don't miss the next generation of racing superstars honing their skills and rising through the ranks. Gates open at 5 p.m. with the green flag waving at 6. Visit charlottemotorspeedway.com for tickets, details, and information. To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
Have your say.
Trusting the government to fix anything is a joke.
Be a part of the conversation.
We can't even trust the banks with our money.
This is WSIC News Talk Now.
24/7 worldwide.
WSIC.
Local. It's the Scoreboard with your host, Sports Director Joe Berg on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Second segment here on the Scoreboard. 844 Studio 4 is the phone number. I want to get into this. I got a call from the Tar Heel Man, my buddy Mark over there. Okay, Team USA basketball. Why do I say I'm concerned? Game number 1 of their friendlies over in Las Vegas. Team USA beat Canada 86-72. But if you watch that game, it was a lot closer than 86-72 for most of the game. They squeak by Australia 98-92. They blew out Serbia, which is interesting to me because Serbia, they got the Joker. Like, they have the best player in basketball right now. And then here's where the concern is. Versus South Sudan, 101-100 was the final score. Team USA was favored by over 40 points in that game. And then a few days ago, 4 days ago, they played Germany and squeaked by on that one, 92-88. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that it's all flukes that they won these close games. They have some of the greatest basketball players in the world. When you look at that roster, I mean, these are guys you know. Bam Adebayo, Devin Booker, Steph Curry, Anthony Davis, Joel Embiid is there, KD, and you got the youngins too. Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Halliburton. LeBron's on the team. You got Derek White, Drew Holiday, Jason Tatum. I mean, the team sounds stacked. But then you see how they played in these games, and you're like, why is this happening? Now, I do think a little bit of that is just Team USA not having the pedal to the metal, with it being friendlies, not actual, points, not points, but not an important game in the grand scheme of things. It doesn't matter for the Olympics. But at the same time, you look at these games that they've played and you say, is that really all we got? Now, granted, this roster is pretty old. You got some aging players here. Steph Curry, Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis feels older than he is because of all the injuries he's had. But Steph Curry's 36, Kevin Durant, 35, LeBron James, 39, Drew Holiday's 34. This is not a young team. And yeah, they have Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Halliburton to kind of bring that age down a little bit. But at the same time, these are the veterans. These are the guys that should know how to win. And I'm not going to call panic yet because nothing started, but it is a little concerning when you see how they fare against these teams in a friendly. So Team USA's schedule is as follows for basketball, men's basketball, that is. They play Serbia at 11:15 a.m. local time on Sunday. Then on Wednesday at 3 o'clock local time, they play South Sudan again. Now, I'm not a betting man, but if I was, I would put a lot of money on Team USA to blow out South Sudan the second time around. If we would have lost, even in a friendly, to South Sudan, that would have been one of the most important upsets of basketball history. It was that big. It might not seem like a big deal to us because it's like, yeah, Team USA won. It was a friendly. So what? They squeaked by. They were favored by, 41 and a half? That would have been an all-time upset. I don't care, friendly, no friendly. That would have been an all-time upset. And then they end on August 3rd, a little dyslexic there, against Puerto Rico. And that is their group stage games. So we have had a game against Serbia. We talked about that. They blew them out 105-79. That is the team that we expect. South Sudan, well, the first time we played them, it didn't go as planned. And then they end things with Puerto Rico. I expect a gold. I do. I mean, this team should bring home a gold medal. I'm just nervous. Something inside of me is saying, hey, Team USA, you might want to watch out for them. As in, we could have problems brewing. And I don't know why that is. I don't. But what I do know is they should win the gold. With the roster that they have, they should absolutely be winning the gold. So let's continue talking about the Olympics while we're at it, because we just talked Team USA. Opening ceremonies were earlier today. I was able to catch a little bit of it. Saw Team USA's boat. Man, it was pouring in France, pouring rain during the opening ceremony. All of the players, all the athletes had the rain ponchos over them while they were on the boat. It was dark. It is right now, a little after 11 o'clock in Paris. It's only 68 degrees. So not too terribly cold, which I'm sure that with the rain, the players, the athletes are probably pretty happy about that. But still, man, you got to go through opening ceremonies in the rain. Whew, that just stinks. So after the opening ceremonies, there's no more competitions. Obviously, it was late in the day. Tomorrow is really when everything begins. You got early if you want to wake up for this, everyone. If you want to wake up for badminton, 2:30 in the morning, and handball at 3 o'clock. We are giving away medals tomorrow. The first day after the opening ceremonies, we will have some medals to be handed out. Shooting, the 10-meter air rifle mixed team around 4:30. We'll have the bronze medal game and then the gold medal game. Diving, women's synchronized 3-meter springboard final will be giving out a medal at 5 o'clock. You also have cycling road. So the women's individual time trials for cycling will give out a medal. That's going to be later in the day, around 8:30 or so. And then at 10 o'clock, it's judo. So there's a lot going on early morning. A lot of early morning things. Shooting at 4:30 in the morning, diving at 5 o'clock in the morning. This is all Eastern Standard Time. Then you get a little later, you got the cycling at 8:30. Judo, 10 o'clock. Men's cycling at 10:30. You also have the skateboarding finals. The men's street final will be at 11 o'clock. I never understood why skateboarding has to be in the Olympics and they also have their own event for skateboarding. I mean, the X Games are good enough. I enjoy the X Games. But we got skateboarding in the Olympics as well. Other medals that'll be handing out, rugby sevens. The men's bronze medal match is going to be at 1 o'clock tomorrow, and the men's gold medal match is going to be at 1:45. Fencing, swimming, also giving out medals all throughout the day. There's going to be a lot of medals to count by the end of the day. Hopefully USA is up near the top. I wouldn't see why not. I mean, Team USA has plenty of athletes. Looking at the opening ceremonies and watching the boats go by, you saw some countries that maybe you don't recognize because, you know, they're pretty small countries, but they're sending 2, 3, 4 athletes. Team USA, almost 600 athletes. So I hope we get some medals. No, we're probably going to get a bunch of medals. Team USA is always up near the top. I don't know if I talked about this, but it is Olympic news. In 2034, so 10 years from now, in 10 years, the Winter Olympics are going to be coming to the USA. They'll be in Utah in 2034. That's exactly 10 years from now. So you got the Summer Olympics in 4 years coming here, and then 6 years after that. And then not only that, but you have the World Cup as well. So the USA really starting to get some hosting done for these world events. They're going to have the World Cup in 2 years, Summer Olympics in 4 years, Winter Olympics in 10 years. Pretty interesting how they're all of a sudden getting all of these worldwide events and we'll be hosting them, which is great. I love it. I hope they fix everything before the World Cup. We saw the security at Bank of America Stadium and Hard Rock Stadium down in Miami, but there's 2 years to get it fixed, so we'll see. We talked a little bit of baseball. I'm going to move on from the Olympics because right now it's really just kind of looking forward. There's not all that much happening today. If you want to stay up until 2:30 in the morning, you're going to be able to start watching some Olympics. But other than that, everything is done for the day. Everything's done for yesterday. Soccer was going on as well. Team USA in soccer, well, the women's fared well. The women beat Zambia 3-0, and the men lost to France 3-0. So tough sledding there. We're going to head to our halfway point here today. We're going to come back, talk a little news. I teased it at the beginning with the NBA getting sued. We'll talk a little bit about that on the other side of this break. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back right after this.
Keep it right here. We'll have more of the Scoreboard with Joe Berg in just a moment from 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
We're keeping an eye out for a few scattered showers and thunderstorms as we work our way through our Friday evening, but drier weather on the way as we go into the upcoming weekend. Overnight, we'll see a partly cloudy sky. Temperatures will drop down to around 70. Could even see some upper 60s around the farms and outlying spots. For the weekend, just a little bit less humid, mainly dry and high temperatures in the mid-80s. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. Find a reason to get outside this weekend. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Randy Marion Chevrolet in Statesville, we have got the brand new 2025 Chevrolet Traverse in stock, all redesigned from front to back, top to bottom, inside and out. Come see them today. We have got a great selection of these new Traverses ready for you to take home. And also, we got great discounts on our Silverado trucks. We got the regular cab, crew cab, double cabs, discounted up to $9,000 off. Great selection, Randy Marion Chevrolet in Statesville, right on I-40.
Bob McIntosh here with the McIntosh Law Firm in Davidson. Serving this community has been a collective passion of our law firm since 1997. We offer the quality legal services and results you would expect from a large downtown firm, but with a personal, community-focused approach right here at home. The McIntosh Law Firm, your local legal resource.
To learn more about the McIntosh Law Firm, visit McIntoshLawFirm.com.
More than a century ago, Bunch Johnson Funeral Home was founded on compassion. Let us assist you with pre-planning for funerals and cremations. Our family is here when you need us. Bunch Johnson Funeral Home.
Attention, fellow conservative investors. What does the name Reagan mean to you? It stands for being the ultimate conservative. It also stands for the Reagan Gold Group. Do you see storm clouds approaching? The stock market hates uncertainty, and there are plenty of reasons to be concerned. High inflation, unstable debt, and economic uncertainty are just a few. You have car insurance, homeowners insurance, and life insurance. But do you have insurance for your retirement savings and your 401k? We urge all fellow conservative investors to learn about the one asset that could help ensure your nest egg doesn't crack under economic pressure. G-O-L-D, gold. Call the one name any conservative investor needs to know about. Reagan Gold Group.
800-296-1557. 800-296-1557. 800-296-1557. That's 800-296.
Prioritizing your health is one of the best ways to take care of yourself. From routine visits to the joys of pregnancy to the illnesses that stop you in your tracks, Iredell Health System will be by your side. Learn more at iredellhealth.org.
I'm Bryce Johnson with this Unpacking It Sports and Faith Minute. In baseball, even when a player strikes out, he still approaches his next at-bat thinking that he will get a hit. Just like baseball players, we are sometimes going to strike out in our walk of faith. But when we sin, it's important to get back out there and follow Jesus daily. No batter deliberately embraces the strikeout, so why would we deliberately embrace disobedience? Followers of Jesus live with a desire to obey. The Bible says God has called us to live holy lives, not impure lives. Even though we will slip up as we place our faith in Jesus, we know we are given grace and forgiveness. The Bible also says if we confess our sins, He is faithful and just and will forgive us our sins and purify us from all unrighteousness. Today, let's live holy lives, chasing after obedience and resting in God's grace when we do strike out. I'm Bryce Johnson, and you can unpack that. For more, go to unpackingit.com.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. The Federal Reserve's favored measure of inflation showed it rose at a tame pace in June, up 0.2% from May, and year over year, it's up 2.6%. Consumer spending also looks healthy. This may be the evidence the Fed needs to cut interest rates as early as September. Stocks today rallied on that possibility. The Dow was up 654 or 1.6%. The S&P added 60 or 1.1%. The Nasdaq gained 176 or 1%. The Paris Olympics are now underway. Airbnb CEO Brian Chesky tells Bloomberg they've had 150,000 homes rented out for these summer games, and he says it's expected those visitors will spend over $1 billion during their stay. Deadpool and Wolverine are bringing in superhero numbers at the box office. The latest Marvel film took in $38.5 million in domestic ticket sales in Thursday previews. I'm Nancy Lyons, Bloomberg Radio.
The Scoreboard with Joe Berg continues now on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Oh boy, ladies and gentlemen, it is a mess with the NBA. and their media rights deal. You know, I feel like this is the first time that I've seen a media company sue a league. It's probably happened before, but as far as me talking about it and knowing about it, it's definitely a first, okay? Here's the deal. The NBA accepted a new media rights deal with ESPN, NBC, and Amazon. 11 years, $76 billion with a B. $billion, okay? That's where we start. Well, Warner Brothers Discovery has now filed a lawsuit against the NBA on Friday, alleging that the league breached its contract by declining its offer for a new media rights deal and instead signing with Amazon. Here are some statements for you. Warner Brothers previously said that they had matched Amazon's $1.8 billion per year, but the league declined to accept it. Now, according to Warner Brothers Discovery, they believe that there was an extreme misinterpretation of the contract that was agreed upon in 2014. Here it is. In a copy of the redacted complaint obtained Friday by ESPN, Warner Brothers Discovery cited language in the matching rights agreement of its contract with the NBA from 2014 when the league entered into a 9-year, $24 billion media rights deal with ESPN and Turner Sports. That's TNT, TBS. That deal is slated to expire at the end of the 2024-2025 season. Here's the specific language. The NBA may not enter into an agreement or agreements with any third party or parties without first giving Turner Broadcasting System, a subsidiary of Warner Brothers Discovery, a chance to accept it. So basically, it's a lawsuit because of misunderstandings. Turner Sports, TNT, is arguing that the contract states that if they go in to negotiate with another media rights center after this deal ends, Turner must be given the opportunity to match it, and they must accept it if it is matched. So this is what the lawsuit is about. It's about the terminology used in the agreement, and Warner Brothers Discovery believes that they have been wronged here. Now, there's a lot to be said about this. Charles Barkley has been incredibly vocal about it, with how he absolutely does not believe that the NBA wanted TNT anymore. He wanted them gone. Adam Silver, the commissioner, did not want TNT anymore, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me because, you know, the NBA on TNT is good. Inside the NBA, good. Those halftime shows they do, they're good. Charles, Shaq, you're not gonna find chemistry like that in many other places. So this is going to be interesting. I don't know how long this is going to move on for, but according to the lawsuit that was filed in the New York Supreme Court, the NBA has 20 days to respond. So we'll see what happens. I'm curious to see if TNT is somehow able to strangle the media rights away from Amazon, from NBC, and these are massive, massive companies. Turner Sports is a big company as well, but man, it's going to get ugly. Now, TNT does not want to lose the NBA. That's one of their biggest money makers is the NBA. Now, obviously, they got part of the deal with March Madness. When that rolls around, you have games on TBS, TNT as well. But man, Turner Sports. On July 17th, TBS said the NBA presented the offer and was willing to accept it from Amazon. Then on July 22nd, TBS said it responded to the NBA and matched the term in that offer, which the league declined to accept. Not only that, despite TBS's clear match, the NBA has moved the rights to Amazon in direct breach of the agreement. Unless the NBA is ordered to specifically perform its obligations before the 25-26 season, TBS will lose the unique and valuable distribution rights. We got a bunch of people throwing fits, basically, over the media rights, which, you know, it's basically 90% of sports is grown men throwing fits. So that's going on. That'll be something to keep an eye on as we get through the summer. Another thing to keep an eye on as we go through the summer is the NFL and NFL training camps specifically. The other day I told you about some season-ending injuries that have already happened. A couple of cornerbacks tearing their ACL. This morning, it was reported that Michael Bagley, the kicker for the Lions, tore his hamstring in practice on Thursday. He's out for the season. Your kicker tore his hamstring on day 3 of camp. Day 2 for the Lions. Oh, man. You just want to hit your head up against the wall and say, stop getting hurt. Here's something for you. Maybe you haven't been watching any video from the training camps, but do you know the padding that the NFL has put on the outside of the helmet during training camp? It's just a little bit of padding that goes there to kind of, I guess, soften blows a little bit more. It's another layer of absorption, basically, to try and reduce head injuries. Get ready for those to be used in the game, okay? They didn't do it last year because everybody said it was ugly, and it is ugly. But now they have skull caps that go over this padding. So it's basically the same design, same color of the actual helmet. You just put it over the padding. We're going to see it in games soon. And look, I don't have a problem with this, okay? If you have a problem with the NFL trying to make the game a little safer, then maybe we shouldn't go to 18 games because that's going to make it a lot less safe. It's another game. It's another chance to get hurt. And we know 18 games in the NFL is different than 80 games in the NBA or whatever it is, you know? So just be ready for that. And the analogy that I saw, comparison that I saw is, it was actually with NASCAR, believe it or not. NASCAR padded the walls. They put padding on the walls. It's called the safer barrier. You know how many lives it saved? Let's look at Ryan Blaney's Daytona accident last year. Yeah, that probably saved his life. Had he gone head on into a concrete barrier, you can use your imagination. So you shouldn't have a problem with the NFL wanting to pad the helmets, especially because, everybody's focused in on these concussions that are happening. CTE is not a joke. I have no problem with them making the game a little bit more safe. Doesn't look that bad. We're not going to lose the logo and the helmet design and all that fun stuff. So I have no problem with it. So in the next year or two, not this year, maybe next year or the year after, you're probably going to see padding on the exterior of helmets covered by a skull cap. Just be ready and do not complain when you see it because it's going to make the game a little bit safer. We're going to head to our final commercial break of the day here, ladies and gentlemen. When we're back, we're going to wrap things up, talk about some things that happened on this day in sports history. Don't go anywhere. We're back right after this.
This guy knows his sports, right? There's more of the Scoreboard with Joe Berg on the way on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
We'll keep an eye out for a few scattered showers and thunderstorms as we work our way through our Friday evening, but drier weather on the way as we go into the upcoming weekend. Overnight, we'll see a partly cloudy sky. Temperatures will drop down to around 70. Could even see some upper 60s around the farms and outlying spots. For the weekend, just a little bit less humid, mainly dry and high temperatures in the mid-80s. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. Find no reason to get outside this weekend. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here's your WSIC community calendar. Langtree Live continues their free music series on Thursday. 2 months ago, Ghostface Brewing and Waves Entertainment hosted the Battle of the Bands. The champion that night, Fortune 5, makes their Langtree Live debut this Thursday, July 25th. Come on out to Langtree Lake Norman to see and hear the Battle of the Bands champion, Fortune 5, this Thursday with music beginning at 7 p.m. The Live Under the Oaks concert series continues on Friday at Birkdale Village in Huntersville. Come enjoy the music of The Highway with their dynamic and high-energy show. Red Rocks will have beverages on site, and the Birkdale restaurants are ready for your dinner service. Bring your chairs and blankets for the Highway concert at Birkdale Village on Friday, beginning at 6 p.m. The 8th annual Dog Island Jam takes place this Saturday on Lake Norman. Star from The Voice, John Sullivan presents the summer's must-see concert. Waves Entertainment will bring a stage, sound system, and LED walls to, you guessed it, an island on Lake Norman. Sully and Friends headline the concert on Saturday. Untie your boat or call your friends with boats and enjoy the Dog Island Jam concert on Lake Norman this Saturday. The Cookout Summer Shootout Series at Charlotte Motor Speedway reaches the series finale. The 10-race series title night is on Tuesday, July 30th, with NASCAR night sponsored by the NASCAR Hall of Fame. See the champions crowned and the legends and bandoleros. Don't miss the next generation of racing superstars honing their skills and rising through the ranks. Gates open at 5 p.m. with the green flag waving at 6. Visit charlottemotorspeedway.com for tickets, details, and information. To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
Hello, friends. This is Dwight with Gullion's Christian Supply and Homeschool Headquarters, inviting you to join the Gullion family and staff in praising the Lord for 30 years of providing you with trustworthy and inspiring books, Bibles, music, gifts, and supplies. We so appreciate your support and friendship over all these years. With locations in King and Statesville, North Carolina, visit us again soon for encouraging fellowship and essential provisions for your Christian life. Gullion's Christian Supply and Homeschool Headquarters, where the Bible stands.
Talk sports with Joe Berg. Call 844-STUDIO-4. It's the Scoreboard on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, final segment here on the Scoreboard. It is Friday. Woohoo! Yeah. Man, I love Fridays. You know why? Because the weekend's coming. I know everybody has had a long week. Hopefully, if you are in the car, driving home, heading home for the day, you're being safe out there on Interstate 77. I know it can be a mess out there at times, so everybody take their time getting home today. Be safe. Every day you should take your time, honestly. Justin Kazep, a station owner, likes to say patient pants are required. Yes, they are, especially when you're driving down 77. 844-STUDIO-4. That's 844-788-3464. If you have anything on your mind that you might want to talk about, we'll be here for the next 10 minutes. You know, one thing we haven't talked about at all today is NASCAR. You know why? Because there is no NASCAR happening right now. Womp womp. 2 weeks off for the NASCAR Cup Series. When they return, it will be, we'll be racing at, where are they going to be racing? Honestly, I forget. Richmond. They'll be racing at Richmond with, just know it's going to be an interesting time when we go to Richmond, because we're going to have the option tire, something that we talked a little bit about, where they're going to have a softer compound tire. But we're not going to talk about NASCAR. I know you're going to miss the NASCAR talk. I like talking NASCAR. I love NASCAR. But what we are going to do is kind of just wrap up what's been going on in the world of sports this weekend. No other trades for you. I have the MLB trade tracker up right now. Nothing to report as of late. The last thing, Orioles getting Zach Eflin, as we talked about, from the Rays for a few prospects. Mariners were making the big move today, getting Randy Arozarena from the Rays. So Arozarena broke out a few years ago, having an interesting season this year, though. Not his best year ever by any means, but hey, he is still a very good player, as he's only batting .211 this year, 15 home runs. Not the best he's had. His career average is .256. Obviously, that .211 is bringing it down a bunch, but who knows? Maybe a change of scenery for Randy Arozarena is what he needs to get back on track. Charlotte FC this weekend, Leagues Cup, match day 1 of 3 as they take on the Philadelphia Union. We talked a little bit about the Philadelphia Union because of the kid on that team named Kevin Sullivan. Now, Kevin Sullivan was born in 2009. And he's a professional athlete for the Philadelphia Union. 14 years old. I don't know if he's going to play during the Leagues Cup. But apparently in Philadelphia, he's become a celebrity at only 14 years, 293 days. I'm not surprised by that. So something to keep an eye on this weekend. Charlotte FC is in action. The MLS not taking an Olympic break. I'm going to be keeping an eye on the Olympics for you guys all weekend. When we come back on Monday, what we're going to do is go over the medal count, talk about any controversies. You know, I find it to be a win currently, a win, because we've gone 2 more days now. Well, yeah, 2 days, Thursday and Friday, because the events are over for Friday, without controversy. Whew. Man, wipe the sweat off your forehead on that one. I know it's so hard for the Olympics not to have controversies. Do you see the cardboard beds that the athletes are sleeping on? Disgusting. Like, they're actually sleeping on cardboard. So, we'll find more controversies throughout the rest of the Olympics. It's going to happen. The Olympics are always filled with controversy. But at least we haven't had another situation where there was 15 minutes of additional time added, extra time, stoppage time, 15 minutes stoppage time added, and a goal that was then taken off the board 2 hours later. What a mess. Hopefully we don't have any situations like that for the rest of the Olympics. Just looking around the rest of the world of sports, Tua Tagovailoa, quarterback for the Miami Dolphins, 4-year, $212 million extension. That is an average of $53.1 million per year. Tua is now 3rd among the league's highest paid quarterbacks, behind Trevor Lawrence and Joe Burrow. 2 quarterbacks who have done, well, absolutely nothing. Now you might say, what do you mean? Joe Burrow went to a Super Bowl. Yeah, but he didn't win it. But he's the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. And he got hurt, what? In his 5 years, he's been out for 2 seasons? Like, man, that's not great. Trevor Lawrence, he was supposed to be the next guy. Like, the guy. He hasn't done anything. Why is he getting so much money? And now Tua Tagovailoa, who also hasn't done anything, is getting this much money. Here are the highest average per year contracts for quarterbacks. Trevor Lawrence and Joe Burrow both make $55 million a year. Tua's at 53.1. Jared Goff is at 53. Justin Herbert, $52.5 million a year. Lamar Jackson at $52 million and Jalen Hurts at $51 million. Burrow, Tagovailoa, Herbert, and Hurts were all part of the 2020 draft class. So if you got a quarterback in 2020, I'm happy for you. Seems like that was the way to go. But man, Tua Tagovailoa, I didn't think that he was going to be the next highest paid quarterback, but that's what happens, man. That's the state of the NFL is when it's your turn to get paid, you're going to get paid. Think of it this way. Bryce Young had a terrible first year. Let's say he has a terrible second year, an okay third year, and a good fourth year. Bryce Young is going to be one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league because he would have showed that he could have a decent season, and you're not going to want to lose your quarterback, so you have to pay the going rate. If Bryce Young turns it around and gets the Panthers to 500, maybe a couple of winning seasons, nothing crazy, maybe not, Super Bowl runs, but just competence, he's going to get over $50 million a year. That's the way the NFL is right now. When it's your turn to get paid, you are going to get paid with a capital P. Paid. So Tua Tagovailoa, he's been top 5 in passing stats for the past 2 years. Now, a lot of people think that's because of who he's throwing to, and my argument is, okay, so do you want him to not throw it to the greatest receivers in the world? Like, that's the team he has. So what? Anyway, some things that happened on this day in sports history. 1948, Babe Ruth story premieres, and it was the last Babe Ruth public appearance. 1952, Mickey Mantle hit his first grand slam. It says first grand slammer. Not sure why it says grand slammer, but I'm assuming that means regular old grand slam. Nolan Ryan strikes out his 100th batter for the 23rd consecutive season on this day in 1992. Let's see, what else do we have here for you? Any other good ones that happened on this day in history? Larry Doby plays final MLB game. He retired in 1962 after playing for the Dragons of Japan. And on this day in 1970, Reds catcher Johnny Bench, playing for the day in the outfield, goes 4 for 5 with 7 RBIs, including 3 consecutive home runs off of Steve Carlton in a 12-5 win at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati. Have yourself a day, Johnny Bench. Well, everyone, it's Friday. You know how we like to head out of here on a Friday. We're going to let the music take you all into the weekend. I appreciate everyone for tuning in today, having a great week. Watch the Olympics this weekend. Watch Charlotte FC this weekend. Don't watch NASCAR because it's not going to be on. So if you're watching NASCAR, I don't know what to tell you. It's not on. I'll see you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend. Until then, see ya.
Take a dance. You're old enough to dance the night away. Oh, dance the night away.
Serving you better than ever before. 105.9 100.